market share leader. Oh, sorry, that's a word. No. Okay. So total market share. So in terms of the revenue, and then so this period, for period 4, we are getting the Team L to be the number 1. So congratulations, Team L. So it's good to see that you guys like a steadily developer and eventually now, right? So you're getting the first one. But be very careful because the whole market really changed fast. So it could be like something could be the number 1 in one period, but then it's suddenly like so your competitors are like fighting with you. Team L, Team N, still doing a good job, but yeah, you need to be, yeah, you need to think about that, right? So how to deal with that. Team, and then so we still have the Team N. So Team N, right? So Team N has leading the competition for 2 periods, and now still in the middle. So, and we still also having some teams that like actually making progress. For example, Team R. So I would like to give some encouragement for Team R. So, but the other teams also keep doing the good work. So this is the total market share. And I didn't separate into 2 markets because we don't have many brands for the new market. So let's just, so most of the market share is driven still by the old market. So this is Sonite market. All right, so next one, look at the net contribution. So this is the most profitable team. If I use this one, it doesn't work well. Okay, so the net contribution, in terms of profitability, we have a good job, Team L. So Team L is now leading now. The other teams have pretty much mirrored the performance, but the rankings pretty much mirror the performance in the market share. So this is a net contribution. And again, everything, right? So you can check with your own game interface. You should be able to see that. So there will be an industry dashboard. That one you can also see your own performance and also your competitors as well. Cumulative net contributions. Now we have actually 3 teams quite like actually catching up each other. We have Team N. So Team N, because at the beginning they somehow, right, so the leading net contribution, and Team N is quite aggressive. And Team L now is a kind of like a keeping, right? So this is 3 teams that kind of is leading this market in the net contribution. So by far we still have 3 rounds. So this, sorry about that. So this is Wednesday. You still need to make your effort to submit another round of decision, right? So Wednesday, this is the round 5. And next week we are going to have 2 rounds. So by the end of next week, right? So you should be able to see the eventual performance of all the teams. And so I would also like to comment some of the things here. So from this period, so most of the companies have already launched some new brands. It could be either the new brands in the Sonite market, so this is the existing market, right? It could be some new brand in the new market, like the Vodai market. We have 1 or 2 teams already launched the brand in there. And when you launch a new brand, I think this will be 2 extreme strategies you can consider. One, you could be the team, right? So you could spend lots of money. Say I have a new brand, right? So spend lots of money at the very beginning. So that's what kind of effects that will have. So hopefully, if this really match the consumer's preferences, you are going to achieve a very strong market penetration. So I think this is one strategy called penetration. So basically, you spend lots of money, increase the awareness. So now the market know your brand, and because it's a new brand, right? So this will be one. But the assumption is that if you're doing the first one, it's kind of a little bit risky because that if your brand doesn't really meet the consumer's needs. And then, so the other one, the less risky thing is that, okay, so I have a new brand. At the very beginning, I spend a minimum communication expenditure at the very beginning. And then I'm going to analyze, okay, I have a new brand. I'm going to analyze the market reaction. Well, how can I analyze market reaction? How will you analyze market reaction? Well, one thing you can check on is the purchase intention. versus the awareness. You can look at the gap between the awareness and purchase intention. So for example, that if you see that lots of people are aware of your brands, but then kind of they don't want to buy, so what is the problem? So there may be some like positioning thing, right? So maybe your brand is not positioned very well. So in that case, if you adopt the first one, it's quite risky because why? You spend a lot of money build up this awareness. So if it's not really correct, it's very hard for you to reposition it in the next few rounds, right? So therefore, for some of the, like if you're not very sure about the position of your brand, usually you do a little bit, look at the market, analyze it, and in the next few period, you kind of, okay, so if this is the right positioning, the second period I'm going to launch a lot of advertising, increase awareness, right? So I think so this would be like a two extreme strategies, and you could also consider some point in the middle. And so this is one. The other thing, all right. So introduce a new brand. So if you do this a new brand in the existing market, say what we say this is a soda market, right? Usually a successful branding will be what? First, so this will be like if you try to differentiate somehow from the existing brands, right? Because this is mentioned. And second thing is that if you can find somewhat neglected segments and you do that, of course you also need to consider how the other markets competitors are doing, right? So that will be lead to kind of like successful new brands. The second thing, so if you try to enter into a volatile market, so far we don't have many brands enter into new markets, but need to keep in mind that there's a few risky things there. So first of all, when you do this volatile market, of course you need to decide how to do this R&D and specify the product characteristics, right? So in this case, that because it's a new market, usually we rely largely on the judgment. So kind of like, what do you believe, right? So this might be a good product. And however, this is a really subjective judgment. So this is risk one. Second risk is that keep in mind that anything that you see about the forecast about this new market, volatile market, that could be highly inaccurate. So this is just similar to the reality, right? So these are some markets that you don't have much information. So when you look at this market research report, you heard that keep in mind that it could be wrong and similar to the reality. And also sometimes that people might be more optimistic. So need to be very careful using market research study for this volatile market. The other thing that we mentioned this one, so we have one or two brands now already launched the volatile brands. So we call this as a first mover. And of course for this brand, you can enjoy some of the first mover advantage because you're the number one, right? So we mentioned that. However, the latecomers, the trade-off as latecomers is that they know more, they can learn from the first mover's mistake. So basically that for latecomers, you might be able to access to more information. So this is one reason some companies may want to wait. But if you wait too long, so that means if you enter to this volatile market too late, which is also not a good thing. Why? Because consumers now, they already have some brand in their mind. It takes time. For the volatile market, it takes time, actually at least 2 periods to build up this awareness, so that you might not be making lots of profit at the beginning. So and then you need to educate the market, so it takes time. So this is somehow for the volatile market. Okay, all right. So I think this is a brief comment about introducing the new brands, and I think the next few periods we're going to see more new brands introduced to the market. So let's go back to the